Hello, everyone. Welcome to Feedstuffs 365. I'm Sarah Muirhead. The U.S. Roundtable for Sustainable Poultry and Eggs released its second Sustainability Framework report during the 2026 International Production and Processing Expo in Atlanta. Joining us to provide details on the framework and this year's results is Elena Myhre, Director of Marketing and Communications with US-RSPE. Welcome, Elena. Thank you for joining us here today.
Hey, Sarah, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
For those of you in our audience that are tuning in, we appreciate you being with us as well. If you have any questions, feel free to post those in the chat area of your screen. If you're joining us through social media, post those questions right there in your social feed. So, Elena, let's start by having you give us an overview of the framework in general, kind of its purpose, and how it really strives to unite the poultry value chain.
Yeah, so in 2019, the framework came out of some meetings from US Poultry and was founded by over a dozen founding companies that go across the supply chain. It's a pre-competitive, multi-stakeholder effort. And they knew that we can't talk about what we're not measuring and what we're not tracking. So through lots of meetings and hard work and really coming together and collaborating, the framework was created. I believe there were some beta tests in 2022. And then we were able to release the first report last year at IPPE. And then now we have our second report that was released this year at the Market Intelligence Forum at IPPE.
And the framework's really about providing kind of that on-ramp for anyone involved in the poultry and egg supply chain to start or say continue a sustainability journey. That being so, what are like the main pillars, the main priority areas for such a journey?
Absolutely. So we have eggs, turkey, and chicken reporting in, and then we look at the sustainability in the framework as in a people pillar, a planet pillar, and a poultry pillar. Within people, we talk about employees and supply chain well-being, community support, antibiotic stewardship, food safety and quality, and food security. Planet covers air quality, energy, and greenhouse gas emissions, land use, waste, water quality, and usage, and then some other general sustainability metrics that as a group, the organization and our members decided were important. And then within the poultry pillar, we have animal health, animal well-being, biosecurity, productivity, and efficiency.
Pretty extensive there, I would say. But let's break things down a little bit here for our audience. When it comes to that people pillar, what are some of the key measurements that the framework is really focused on?
Well, I think one of the most inspiring metrics that I've seen is how companies are really dedicated to creating benefits for their employees, but also taking care of their companies and conducting or investing in projects that are advancing worker safety. And we've seen really great worker safety numbers that have come out, and we've seen a lot of improvement there. The U.S. Poultry's HR and Safety Council has done a lot of work in that area, and we've seen the results in the improvement in some of those metrics. I also think that, beyond just employees and workers, and a lot of people may not think that that is truly sustainability, you tend to think of that planet pillar a little bit more. But 100% of reporting companies also have a food defense plan. And when we think about feeding the planet and taking care of the planet and all people, that's a really impactful metric.
So from the standpoint then of sustainability, from an environment standpoint, what are the key things that are measured? And for that matter, how's the poultry industry, how's it scoring when it comes to protecting the planet?
When we look at the framework, it's really created to continuously improve within yourself, but to also create that aggregate anonymous data reporting. So we're looking at it as a continuous journey, and our members have created a structure that allows that to happen. So you can keep improving. And I would say that in some of the things that we've seen a lot of people doing the hard work on feed origination and on looking at calculated planet acres needed for their organization, and really doing the work together in a pre-competitive space. And even beyond the framework within our committees, where a lot of knowledge sharing is happening. That's been a really great thing to see in terms of the planet and sustainability. We, of course, track greenhouse gas emissions and talk about the other metrics that most people think about in terms of water usage. And most companies are keeping tabs on that, and that's what the report consistently shows. I think now a lot of companies are really looking at how they can optimize and seeing sustainability in a way that is holistic in nature, um, which has been, will be a really interesting thing as we keep tracking and we keep looking at the metrics that come from the framework.
So the ROI kind of filters into that as well, ROI of the overall, I know not specific operation, but just in general.
I think so, and I think that that's something that's probably always been there, but having the data to support that this is something that's been cared about, for a very long time, but having that evidence that sort of builds your a foundation of communications, and you can still then use your metrics, but also with the backing of the industry metrics to really talk about what's important within your operation.
Of course, bird care and health are always important.
Oh, yeah.
Um, what trends or areas of emphasis are really featured within the framework in those specific areas? And are you seeing anything that maybe we need to pay a little more attention to? Is that kind of identified as well?
Well, all reporting companies have biosecurity plans, and they're reviewed and updated, and we're seeing that they're tracking performance and efficiency over time as well. All companies that are reporting in have a comprehensive animal welfare programs and are tracking and animal health and welfare metrics. We've seen a 6% increase in people investing in projects, technology or innovation to try to advance animal health in their supply chain. So there's definitely a drive and a willingness to continue to improve in these metrics. There's also, people are trying to keep going and keep trying to track and analyze the data that they're getting in. And we've even seen that with antimicrobial use, which is also another important part of this pillar.
We can only improve when we can measure, right? I mean, it's only if you know what's going on before you can make any kind of those advancements.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we'll be continuing to look at what the framework is. That's the thing. It's not really a static instrument or tool. It's a collaborative project across the industry where members have come together. And so every year we start a process of reviewing what's in the framework, looking at what should something be added to the framework? Are there more resources to help you maybe answer a question more appropriately or more specifically? And all of that is work. It's great work, though, and it's been really inspiring to see our members come together and know that this is an important project, not just for their companies, which they find great value in, but within supporting the U.S. supply chain so that we can make sure that chicken is available, turkey is available, and eggs are available.
Always evaluating, evolving, and moving forward. Any final thoughts or key takeaways that you'd like to leave our audience with here today?
If you are in a place where you could participate in the framework, we would love for you to consider membership and be involved, or at least reach out to us at US-RSPE.org. Being a member really not only helps to showcase leadership, and we would love to have the more data we get feeding into the framework, the better the metrics and the results more show what is happening in the U.S. supply chain. In addition to that, this is really a place where you find your colleagues who care about sustainability and who care about improving the supply chain, and you can come together, and that this is where you can really professionally develop. Within our committee work, within our membership, these are sort of your people if this is important to you. And so that is something that not everyone really thinks of perhaps when they join, but really building that network of connection so that you have the resources that you need to to create an impact in your role is something that we've definitely seen people benefit from as well.
Great point. Elena Myhre of US-RSPE, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Likewise, we appreciate all of you tuning in. Until next time, for Feedstuffs, I'm Sarah Muirhead.